the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to the WC podcast. In this episode, we have two good friends of Workforce Connections from MGM Resorts, Wanda Smith-Gispert, and from C2, Aaron Smith. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you guys made it. So we're going to have a lot of topics today, but we'll start with the first one. Wanda, you and I are ex-colleagues. As you know, I spent 20 years at MGM Resorts, back when it was called Mirage Resorts, then became MGM Mirage, and I have lots of friends and colleagues there. Tell our listeners a little bit about your role at MGM Resorts.
Absolutely. So I am the Vice President of Workforce Development for Japan as well as the U.S., and it's my dream job, actually. I get a chance to open casino resorts all over. So the East Coast, when we open resorts, I go and implement the workforce development plan to hire thousands of people. I'm currently working on the plan for Japan, and we partner with you because we constantly need people. We need thousands of workers. So my role is to make sure we have qualified talent in the pipeline for MGM.
It is a dream job. I remember, when I was in the company, some of these out-facing roles are the most fun because you get to interact with the community. I never knew back then that I would be on this side of the table interacting with you, but I am glad that with this partnership it continues, and it's now evolving, as we're going to find out as we talk to Aaron. We're going to hear a little bit about the day you guys had earlier today. So, Aaron, you are with C2, one of our service providers in our one-stops, and you're building the team here at the newest one of our one-stops across the street at the West Charleston Library. It's our new and first Employee NV Youth Hub, which is a American Job Center dedicated to youth. So tell us a little bit about your role in the operations of C2 and what you're doing here in Las Vegas.
Sure. Thank you so much. I am the Chief Operating Officer for C2. And so in my role, what I'm supposed to do is come in and support the local operations. So we're building up that team across the street at the West Charleston Youth Hub. And I'm here to help support that team, make sure they have all the resources they need, give them strategic direction, work with you guys to make sure we're implementing the vision for what you have for services. And that's my job in a nutshell, is to make sure that we're going in the right direction.
That's great. Let's tie them both together because, again, as you know, at Workforce Connections, we are about people, partnerships, and possibilities. Our mission statement is connecting employers to our ready workforce. And so in order to be able to have a sustainable talent development pipeline, Wanda, as you know, we have to start with the demand side. We need to understand the needs of employers. And so that's why this relationship is so important. We do not want to pretend that we know what to equip youth with in order to be able to aspire to these careers without the employer being present. So, Wanda, why don't you tell us from your perspective as an employer, why is it important to really start here with the employer in the equation?
Absolutely. Well, one, we see you all as an extension of our HR department, right? So instead of having just HR at MGM, when we partner with you and other organizations, you can help us spread the word. The young people need to know what careers are in the pipeline. And when you help prepare them, you're building my future workforce. So we enjoy working with you all to say, these are the jobs that are coming. Not only the jobs that are here today, but we know what's happening at MGM 5 years from now. Some of my workforce is in middle school. They're definitely in high school. So the more we communicate the skills that we're looking for down the road, we know this great pipeline is coming to us in the form of students. So that's how we kind of close the circle. It's a full circle moment at that time.
Well, we thank you that you want to be a part of this talent pipeline development. Aaron, from your perspective, the public sector that we're a part of as well here, why is it important for business, industry, this employer to be a part of solving this equation from the start and not at the end?
Sure. There's two big reasons why I love to have folks like Wanda come and help us out. The first being, we want the youth to hear directly from the employers what's important, what the future looks like in the jobs within that industry, what the skills are that they need in order to be successful. Also, a cornerstone of our operation is our career advisors who work with those youth every day. So the ability for us to communicate to them what's important coming up, how to better their career, how to further their own career pathway, that's vital to us. The other piece that I love to have companies like MGM on our docket for is just we want to connect with good companies. We had a career chat today across the street, and one of the things that she said in there was that they can train 50% of the employees who come to them. And so that was really important for those kids to hear that, and even for our career advisors to hear that if you plug into the right company, if you find the right company, if you do the homework and you go to the company that best suits you, they're going to develop you in your career as well. And so we want the whole package. We want the employers to come in and advise us about what it takes, but then we want those employer partners to pick up the youth that we're working with and make sure they have a bright future with that company.
And I'm glad you mentioned the event of today, the career chat, because it happened across the street at the West Charleston Library, and youth came to hear Wanda on behalf of MGM talk about the opportunities there. So Wanda, tell us a little bit more about, again, as Aaron said, you're not demanding certain credentials or trainings when they come in, but I want our listeners to hear about more. I know the answer. What more do you give them? Once they come in,
Sure.
you give them a lot more. And so would you tell us a little bit more about what young people who want to go work at MGM, what can they expect there?
Absolutely. So you can expect to join a company that you can have a full career. We have jobs for all. So whether you have completed high school, we actually have some positions that are available for people under 18. Whether you've completed high school or certifications or college, we have positions all across the board. So when you're joining us, you're joining a company that you can grow your career. So every position at MGM has a career path. We don't have dead-end jobs. So you can come in one capacity, learn, grow. We have tuition reimbursement. We have tuition that we pay up front if you go to one of the NSHE schools. So working with us full-time or part-time for just 6 months activates that benefit. So you can come to us without a degree, certifications. We'll help you pay for that. We pay it up until you receive a master's degree. But as you're learning, you're growing. You're moving throughout different departments. So you don't have to bounce around from company to company. Many people have 4, 5, 10 jobs at MGM because you're just growing and learning. So young people need to realize if you have no idea what you want to do, come to MGM. We can help you figure out what you like, what you don't like. We expose you to new departments. Come to us and experiment with your career and discover your passion.
And I know you and I and our friend Laura Lee are all examples of that one. That we've had many titles and positions to the company. My first job at the company was a banquet food server. And, and my last departing job, I had a corporate role as a director of energy and environmental and sustainability for the whole company. And so many roles in between, but that's an example of how this company nurtures you along the way. And Aaron, how often is it that you find a company who's saying, we're willing to pay for your education up to a master's degree?
I have not run across this too much. I mean, I wish I found that when I got my master's degree. So I needed to find Wanda earlier in my life.
Yes. Yeah. And so, Wanda, what are some, there's many, too many for even a 5-hour podcast, but what are some key career pathways that you would want to maybe mention now? 2, 3, 4 career pathways that you believe are going to be good opportunities for local young people to be interested here within MGM Resorts.
Sure, absolutely. So just to level set, we have about 150 categories of job classifications, meaning hotel, spa, restaurant, engineering, accounting, finance, marketing, cybersecurity. We have 150 categories at MGM. So let's highlight some things that people can do today. My first advice is to think about MGM's 3 core business areas. We have 3 core areas that we are constantly hiring for. Hotel operations is one, food and beverage operations another, and casino operations is another. So if you're coming to MGM with little or no experience, go into one of those areas because the growth you'll see will be really quick if you get in there, learn the position, but there'll always be opportunity. You don't have to sit in a position for years before something else is available. Security officers. We are hiring security officers for the arenas, each of our properties, but there's a career track. You go from security officer, we have supervisor positions, we have K-9 units, we have managers, directors, vice presidents, so you can build your career in that area, or you can bounce around to other areas. Hotel operations, think about your front desk clerks, your bell positions, front services, those lead to other positions. So think about that from the hotel operations standpoint. I started out as a front desk clerk. I was 18, so that was just a couple of years ago, right?
That's right.
But what happened, being a front desk clerk, you learn how to interact with other departments, and then you're curious. Oh, I see somebody doing that. Tell me a little bit about what you do. Oh, I want to do that. And then you can learn and grow in that area. But that's the hub of all resorts, the front desk. And then, of course, you have the casino area. So casino hosts, casino the people that I think we call them guest service representatives. When you win a jackpot, they come over, they help process you and cash you out. Even the cage cashiers. If you are a cage cashier, we train you on Title 31 policies. You're equivalent to a high volume banking teller. So most people that graduate from that become supervisors, or they go to banks and they operate banks, so we give you transferable skills that you can take to other companies as well. So I would focus on those 3 core areas and just build from there. But we have art galleries. We hire people for that. We have just about anything. Remember, we have an aquarium. So if you like to feed sharks, if you have a degree in marine biology, we can help you get one and you can work for us. So there's so many different things you can do. So jobs for all. Take your pick.
That's so true. As you know, I used to live in those buildings for 20 years, and it means so much when you said hitting the jackpot 20 years ago meant you heard a lot of coins falling down, cling, 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 and then years later we had to simulate that sound with speakers because the machines are coinless now, so it's all ticket in, ticket out, and so technology is also very much impacting how operations are done in these casinos and hotels and restaurants and the industry. And so with that, Aaron, I wanted to ask you, MGM is our probably our largest private sector employer here in our region. And, again, these properties are like little cities, each one. I remember when we opened the Bellagio, it was 11,000 people on opening day, which is very close to the population of Boulder City, just here around the bend, around the mountains. And so, as Wanda said, that's why there's so many occupations. How do you think, hearing from Wanda now, learning a little bit more about MGM Resorts, there's a whole industry, right, of companies like MGM Resorts in our area here. And so, again, not that Wanda wants them to go to MGM Resorts, so we know that. But tell us, as an industry, why is it important, again, that this kind of employer-driven initiative is happening? Why is it important for an industry at large?
Yeah, the hospitality industry is a huge part of Southern Nevada. It's a huge part of most communities, but really in particular in Southern Nevada. And there's a real big misperception, I think, about what that means. And kind of what you articulated, what Wanda has, is that there's a lot of opportunity within that industry. And so I think that is one place where all the employers have some skin in the game. They all need great workforce. They all need the future workforce, and we want to give them an opportunity to speak to that workforce and talk about all the career pathways that are available in that industry that go beyond just the hospitality, or you talk about how you start on the front lines and you progress through the entire thing. Because quite frankly, what we run into quite a bit with youth is they don't really understand that there's accountants there, much less marine biologists, right? There's a lot of occupations that are tucked away within that particular industry that are important to get the word out about. And if you can reach youth at the right age, it's a perfect opportunity for them to plug in, find themselves, find a career, and move up with a great company. Hopefully MGM or one of the other ones that might be in Southern Nevada too.
Yeah, it's interesting when you think about these properties. There's large fountains and places that need underwater welders, right? Which is a career.
yes.
So MGM hires underwater welders. They hire gymnasts that just came off the Olympics, and they're going to go work now for Cirque du Soleil for the shows. And so it just goes on and on. That's a limitless, again, possibilities in these properties. So Wanda, I know that, again, I'm really grateful that we've remained friends and that we're working on multiple initiatives. I know we're working with Superintendent Jara, who's a member of our board, on, you have the lifeguard opportunity, again, to try to connect young people to lifeguard opportunities, which, again, is not a dead-end job at MGM, because from lifeguard they move on to other, some of the property presidents that company has started in positions like those entry positions. What else can we do now that we're partners, and I'm on this side of the table? What else can the public workforce development system do in the next few years to be a good partner to the private sector, to companies like MGM, and help you develop a sustainable talent pipeline?
Sure, absolutely. Well, first, we're excited that you want to provide this assistance to us, because there is a talent shortage. There's a talent war going on right now. And having partners like you help us prepare people and get them in the funnel is important. One of the things that we could partner together on is some of the guest service training. And on the high school level, you're in a market that's all about tourists, right? Everyone should leave high school knowing what great customer service is, how to deliver. If we can just teach students that, whether they come to MGM or Chick-fil-A or anyone, they know how to properly greet people. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Not, hey, what's up? That's too casual for what we do. We can train what 5-star guest service is to teenagers. That will give them a leg up when they're looking for positions. You can give boot camps where people come in and we can say, okay, these are the elements of being a security officer. Let's give you a boot camp so that now you can apply for this role. You know what it entails. The information, the awareness. I love the great videos that you put out, right? Because job descriptions are outdated and a lot of people don't read them. So we're able to give you job descriptions, you put animation behind it, and now the students can say, oh, this is what I'll do. So the day in a life animation, those are great things that you can continue to do. It's all about awareness. The more the students realize what we have to offer, the more they will apply, engage, and reach for more. So just continue to help us get that message out and let them know the sky is the limit.
Yeah, you can count on us to be your partner, Wanda, moving forward. I was excited when the first time we were doing those animations, on occupations. We did it with MGM, and you taught me a term that now we call those now digital, job descriptions.
Yes.
And it's a great term because I remember having to read off a boring piece of paper what the job description was, but together we've really made, really fun, interactive 60-second digital job descriptions. So we're going to continue to work with you on that. Aaron, give us a little taste of, a granular taste of what happens in these EmployMV youth hubs, which again are American job centers that are across the nation. Some are specialized in youth, as is the one across the street where Wanda was today. So tell us a little bit more specifics about what services, help, assistance, youth can receive there, and also, do they have to pay for it?
Great questions. So I'll get to the second question first. The answer is no, they don't have to pay for anything. It's all free and funded already. So the way I like to think about services is really more in terms of the youth experience when they come to us. And so if you think about the youth experience, what they will find when they get there is, they'll be matched up with a really friendly, great career advisor who's going to help them walk through the process. That individual will sit down with them, assess them, talk to them first of all, but also go through some assessments that help define what their interests, what their aptitudes are, what pathways they might want to go down. And then they're going to develop a plan. And that plan is going to take them either on an educational or an employment pathway. And so we have lots of tools in our toolkit in order to get them there. If they go down an educational pathway, we might provide them a training scholarship. If they go down an employment path, we're either going to help them find a great job, or we're going to put them into a paid internship with a local company that's going to help them get the skills that they need to succeed. Now, along the way, we have a lot of supports that we can offer, and we have a lot of incentives to make sure they're going and hitting all the right checkpoints along the way. So everything from financial literacy, opening a bank account, entrepreneurial skills training, those are things that we build into their service plan as well to make sure they're successful regardless of which track they go down. So in a nutshell, that's a good example of what the youth will experience. They'll come in, they'll get very, very hands-on services. We strive for concierge-like services when they come in, make sure there's a really strong formed relationship with their career advisor, and we're going to help move them along their pathway. And we try to develop a plan that's not only going to take them in the short term to where they want to go, but also make sure they're thinking about their future and lifelong learning and where they want to go in 5 years, even after they leave us, right? We have a very short duration that we're actually involved in their lives and we're affecting change with them. We want them to take those lessons further when they leave us.
And so what I'm hearing you say is, again, I know I wish my friend Wanda lived here, but she doesn't. She lives in the East Coast, but she comes sees us often. But because Wanda's not here all the time, you young people can go to you right across the street, and you know what Wanda and her company want and need. And so you can start to develop that talent pipeline with Wanda's input. And so, again, you're working together, even though she's not here all the time in the center. You have that employer connection, so you can work that, prepare that youth to take advantage of some of these career pathways that Wanda was describing. Is that accurate?
It's 100% accurate. And I think the great part about the population that we're working with, which is kind of that 16 to 24 year age range, all the way back to 14 if we catch them in high school, is we're hitting that mid-20s age that Wanda and I were talking about in a separate conversation earlier when we were kind of meandering through life. And if you could have grabbed myself at 20 or 22 and given me a crystal ball to look into the future and a little sound advice, I might have moved a little faster when I was in my early 20s. And I think Wanda was kind of in the same position from what we were talking about. So we want to be there for those kids during that critical stretch to move them along faster.
Good.
Let me tell you, there was no one to help me figure it out. And we didn't have a resource like this. We had to figure it out, trial and error. The students and the young people that have the ability to go get help from seasoned professionals that can direct you to creating your career path that's going to get you everything you want. This is how you buy your house. This is how you get your cell phone. This is how you buy your car. Work. And picking the right profession and knowing some things early on with guidance from resources like this will get you to your end game faster. So take advantage of this. Boy, if I could just rewind the clock and have this type of support, that would have been great. So I encourage people to take advantage of this free resource, right?
And that's why we're here today, I think, doing the podcast. And so, again, I'm going to say it out loud, but we're going to put it on the audio, on the video format as well on the screen. If anybody wants to connect to any of these opportunities that Wanda described at MGM Resorts, they don't have to wait till our next visit and the next career chat. They can go to www.employeenvyouthhub.org. Is that correct, Aaron?
That's correct, yeah.
So go there and get connected to all the things that we've been talking about today. So we've been able to discuss the things that we wanted to discuss with you all, but this is a time where we want to turn over the mic to you and give you the opportunity to share. And I'll start with you, Wanda. Anything that you might, again, share with our listeners about what's happening with MGM or with Wanda. So I'm going to turn over the mic to you first.
Great, thank you. So the one thing that I would say is, yes, MGM is hiring, and next week there's a huge job fair that's happening. Please come out. This job fair will only focus on positions that pay $18 an hour or more. MGM will be there hiring on the spot, so it's a great opportunity. Come out, bring your friends and family. If anyone's asked you to borrow money lately, bring them with you. They need a job. So support that event that we're having. And then 2, this is the best time to launch your career. There are companies that are willing to give inexperienced workers more of a chance than before, to be honest, and just pour into you the development and training. This is the best time to search for a new career. So get out there. Don't sit on the sidelines, because if you do, you're going to miss out. Take advantage. I will say it's probably easier right now to get a job than before, because it's a shortage. So if you don't have as much experience, Employers are forgiving, and they will bring you on, and we will train you. So take advantage of this, because it won't always be this way. This is where you get in, get the experience that you need, and move up. So if you get out there now, you're going to be head and shoulders above your peers in the future. So I just encourage everybody, do not wait on the sidelines. Get out there, get a career. Even if you don't need the money, some people have told me, well, I don't really need the money. It's not about the money. It's about positioning yourself with skills and knowledge so that you can have the future that you want. So get out there.
That's great advice, Wanda. And for those, again, interested, for our listeners, because Workforce Connections is helping organize that job fair, we're working with Commissioners Segerbloom and Gibson from the Clark County Commission. That website is www.nvcareercenter.org, and you will find a banner in the first page. Click on that. It'll take you to the registration. And like Wanda said, don't miss it. It's going to be a great event. So, Aaron, I'll come to you next and say what's happening in your world that you'd like to share with the listeners.
We've been busy working on getting the team together and getting the Youth Hub up and operating, and so that's been consuming all our time and energy these last couple of months. What we're thinking about right now, and kind of the message I would want to leave on the table, is that these systems work very well, especially when everybody's participating. So if there's partners out there, if there's employers out there that are listening to this conversation, there's plenty of room to plug in with what we're doing and wrap around and work together to help the youth of the community. And it really does take a village. I know we've all heard that expression a million times, but it's very true. And so the more that we can do together, the more that we can leverage each other, the better off we are. So I'm glad you shared the website. There's a really easy way to get connected with us there. And once they kind of come through the front door, we have very creative folks over there who will figure out how to use you in terms of helping youth, whether you're Wanda or whether you're a small employer or whether you're a partner. There's lots of room to participate in this system. Good.
Well, we'll make sure to include it on the video. It'll probably be right here on the screen, somewhere around here. They'll probably put www.employeenvyouthhub.org. And like you said, it's not just for the youth, but also for employers like Wanda who want to get involved and be a part of this solution. So I want to thank you both for being here today at the WC podcast. It's been great talking to you here online for our listeners to hear these great things that are happening. We hope to have you back in your next visit to give us an update of what's happening since then with the youth. So again, thank you for being here.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
Great. Well, that's it for another episode of the WC podcast. Until the next episode, stay safe. All right, Wanda and Aaron, thank you for staying over to doing the bonus segment, which we call Against the Wall. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. And this is the first time we're doing it with two, so I'm going ahead and announce the categories and then ask the question to each one of you one at a time. Here we go. First segment is called Your Favorite. So Wanda, favorite food?
Favorite food, stuffed mushrooms.
Aaron, favorite food?
I'm from South Texas, nachos.
Wanda, favorite movie?
Favorite movie is Titanic.
Aaron?
Empire Strikes Back.
Wanda, your favorite city to visit?
Tokyo.
Aaron?
Las Vegas, of course.
Oh, good answer. Wanda, your favorite subject in school?
Lunch.
Aaron?
I was an algebra kid.
All right. Wanda, your favorite artist or musical group?
Virtue.
Aaron?
Van Halen with David Lee Roth.
Oh, specific. David
Very
Lee Roth.
specific.
No,
No Sam
Cabo
Hagar.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Wanda, favorite holiday?
Easter.
Aaron?
Christmas.
Wanda, favorite sports team?
Atlanta Braves.
Aaron?
Denver Broncos.
We got no love there. I was hoping the Vegas Knights would get some love.
It's
No love. That's
AFC
all right.
West rivalry. We can't do that.
So you've successfully completed the first segment called Your Favorites. We're going to move on to the second one called Tough Choices. Wanda, would you rather vacation in the U.S. or abroad?
Abroad.
Aaron?
Abroad.
Wanda, would you rather go camping or glamping?
Camping.
Aaron?
Oh, glamping.
All right. Wanda, coffee or tea?
Tea.
Aaron.
Coffee all day.
Wanda, would you rather owe money or owe a favor?
Oh, a favor.
Aaron.
Oh, money.
Wanda, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Aaron.
Dogs.
Wanda, justice or grace?
Grace.
Aaron.
Justice.
And here comes my favorite. Wanda, actions or words?
Actions.
Aaron.
Actions.
Great. You made it through tough choices. Now we're going to the final segment, which is called Finish the Sentence. And so, Wanda, we'll start with you. If you could live anywhere, Wanda, it would be...
France.
Aaron, if you could live anywhere, it would be...
In a beach house in the Keys.
Wanda, your favorite thing about your job is...
Travel.
Aaron, the favorite thing about your job is...
I get to work with a lot of really smart people.
Wanda, the best part of visiting Southern Nevada is...
Workforce connections.
Wow, she scored big points there. Aaron, I guess now, I don't know if it'll be as original, but the best part of visiting Southern Nevada is...
I think she's boxed me into workforce connections. Although I was going to go with the craps table.
All right. Wanda, 3 words that describe you are...
Fun, whimsical, and talented.
Very good. Aaron, 3 words that describe you are...
Authentic, reasonably enjoyable to be around, and I don't even have a third. I'm sorry.
Reasonable and enjoyable. You can split those up.
I can split that. Reasonable and enjoyable. I'll take it.
All right. Wanda, if you could travel back in time, you would travel to...
I would travel to the 70s.
Nice. Disco dancing.
Disco dancing, partying.
Aaron, if you could travel back in time, you would travel to?
I'd travel to the late 60s and go see a Jimi Hendrix concert.
Wow. Yeah. Awesome. Wanda, doing the WC podcast today was?
It was exciting and fun.
Great. Aaron, doing the WC podcast today was?
It was awesome. I enjoyed it.
Great. Well, thank you to the both of you for staying over to do this bonus segment.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.